research. What is your position on public funding for this type of research?
I oppose the public funding on embryonic stem cells, and I'll tell you why. Embryonic stem cell research is going on today. It has been for 25 years. And so far, no really positive results has come from that research. What has come from stem cell research is from adult stem cell. And also the great, and so far, the great advances we think are being made in the umbilical cord blood stem cell research. I think we ought to, means we got limited dollars, and it's very, very important research, and it's a very important research. I think we ought to put our money where we have some successes, especially in adult stem cell. That's where it has to be. But for 25 years, this does not mean that the research is not being done with embryonic stem cells. It goes on today.
John.
I think we should be public funding embryonic stem cells, and to say that it's been going on for 25 years is ridiculous. It's barely started, and it hasn't started here in this country very much at all because we don't have the support of public funds. Adult stem cells have been going on for 8 years. I know this because I visited with the fella that has been doing this. It's a leader in the field. And he said there are some good things from with adult stem cell. But the fact is, embryonic is where the future is. For people who are in wheelchairs with spinal cord injuries, with folks with Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's, we need to support embryonic stem cell research. If we don't, it'll be done in China or India. We will lose the jobs, and we'll lose our respect as being a medical leader in this country, in this world.
Conrad, 30 seconds.
Well, I think you got the bad information, John. I'm sorry you have, but it's been going on a long time, and longer than you think. And no results has come from embryonic stem cell research. We have a little segment of the American society that think, or some researchers that think they have the answers. They have not come up with the answers yet, and we're still way off in the future about getting any answers.
At this time, we'd like the candidates to ask each other a question. And John Tester, if you'd like to go ahead and ask Conrad Burns a question.
I wasn't aware of this part, so I'll have to pull one up here. Senator Burns, your relationship with Jack Abramoff has been well documented. The reports have shown that you've taken more money than anyone else in Congress from him, all 535. And the report showed that you changed a vote after receiving a $5,000 donation on slave labor in the Marianas. Why did you do that?
Well, number one, you've been beating up on me for 18 months on Jack Abramoff. I broke no law. Nothing has changed. None. Abramoff went to jail, or is going to go to jail because he defrauded his clients and broke a whole bunch of laws. So nothing has changed for me because I broke no laws. Ask about the Marianas. The Marianas is a protectorate of the United States. We don't make labor law there, and all that he had to do was come in, I guess, and I don't know how it got there, but I know there was 2 GAO reports and about 3 years difference in one vote to the other. Times change, circumstances change.
Conrad Burns, question for John Tester.
Well, I would ask the audience today to read the IR as reported today. All the untruths as said about me in supporting a 23% sales tax. And then I noticed that you do not support extending the Bush-Burns-Baucus tax relief. You don't support ending the death tax, and you don't support ending the marriage tax. What I don't understand, really, with the tax code that is 55,000 pages, 2.8 million words, why don't you support tax reform or simplification?
I do support tax reform and simplification. I will tell you that my tax reform needs to be focused at the middle class and small businesses and working families, not to the multinational corporations that fill my campaign coffers, or your campaign coffers as they would be. The fact is, as I've talked about the estate tax, increasing the deduction to $5 million per person, that takes care of most small businesses and 99.9% of the farms, if not all of them. I support doing away with the marriage penalty. But the truth is, Senator Burns, is your tax policy that you supported is based on deficit spending. And I'm not about to put my kids' future and opportunity on the line so I can spend money like a drunken sailor. I am going to be fiscally responsible, and the fact is, if you would support a pay-as-you-go in this government, we wouldn't be in the situation where we have every man, woman, and child, and every child to be born with a $30,000 debt.
Back to questions. Chuck Johnson, and a question goes to John Tester.
Senator Tester, the two of you have spent the past months attacking each other, calling each other names, taking issue with each other's records. We hear a lot of Montanans are getting tired of these negative campaigns. Let's try to turn this around just for this question. Tell me about something you admire or like about Conrad Burns, and let's have him do the same.
I think he's got a really nice wife. No, Phyllis, I like it. I want to tell you, this does focus on the family, though. The truth is I admire the fact that Senator Burns has taken time out of this state for 18 long years to serve in Washington, D.C. This is the greatest state and the greatest country in the world, and that's a sacrifice.
Conrad.
Well, there's not too many things that you don't like about John Tester. Great guy, really is. He reminds me of a good friend of mine that I had in the United States Senate, and he represented Minnesota. His name is John Wellstone. Paul Wellstone. He was a pure, really liberal, ultra liberal. But he really believed it. And John does too. He believes in tax and spend. And I admire that, because that's only in America. Wait a minute now. Please. That's only in America can you do that. And I will tell you, Paul Wellstone and I got along very, very good, because his word was good, and we did a lot of legislation with each other in the Senate. So this is America. John's a great guy. His politics is wrong.
Jackie, a question for Conrad Burns.
Senator, you've long been an advocate for, quote, responsible development on the Rocky Mountain front, and you said that at this event 6 years ago. This year, though, you unveiled a plan to place a permanent freeze on new leases and to encourage work to have non-drilling interests acquire existing leases. Could you please explain your change in position?
There's not a change in position, and I'll tell you why. What was probably being promoted was federal funds to buy out leases. I didn't believe in that. I didn't believe in the trade of it. If interests are that you don't want drilling on the eastern front, then you're going to have to get in and protect it the way that you would protect any other piece of property. We're only talking about two areas: Blackleaf Canyon and the Badger 2 Medicine. Those are the most sensitive areas of the eastern front. We have not changed anything. We have said that if this solution is a homegrown solution with all parties at the table and agree to it, then we would push that forward, as we did in the Blackfoot Challenge.